Hi, I'm Kim from Kiss Goodbye to Anna. I was on my Facebook page the other day having a bit of a rant, and it seemed to strike a chord with some people, and so I kind of thought that I wanted to share it on a wider level, in case it resonated with other people. And I ended up, basically the rant goes that it makes me so frustrated when I see news headlines from the government about all of this money being invested into bringing obesity down because of the cost that it has on society nowadays. But they're looking at providing free gym memberships, they're looking at labelling the supermarket foods even more effectively. They're looking at educating people on what's healthy and what's not, and now they're looking, similar to, I guess, to cigarettes, they're looking to increase the taxing on sugary and unhealthy foods, and it really frustrates me, it really exasperates me, because obviously they're trying to discourage us from buying these foods, etc., and they're trying to bring the obesity down. But the money that's being spent on these initiatives, on these schemes, it's not helping. It's not what it's about. What it's about is that we're struggling in our lives right now. We're struggling in our mental capacity to cope with stuff that's either happening on our lives right now or stuff that's happened in our past, particularly from our childhood. And we're using a food as a way of trying to cope. And some people choose other things, like alcohol, drugs, gambling, which can temporarily make them feel better. But in my opinion, in my humble opinion, it doesn't matter what the label says, it doesn't matter how much a certain food costs, it doesn't matter, oh yeah, the other thing was offering free gym memberships. It doesn't matter whether we have free access to the gym. Now, an obese person isn't stupid. They're aware that they're unhealthy. They're aware that they need to change. They're not simply being obese because they enjoy more food more than anybody else. They're not greedy and they're not lazy. Obesity as a physical condition is one thing, but it's usually the result of a mental battle, just like an eating disorder. And there are a variety of eating disorders around. There's binge eating disorder, there's anorexia, there's a bulimia, there's eating disorder not otherwise specified, to incorporate the disordered eating, and there's emotional overeating. Now, emotional overeating has been described by BEAT, which is the National Eating Disorders Charity, as eating large amounts of food in response to negative emotions such as anxiety or depression, rather than physical hunger. This kind of eating is used as a way of coping with or silencing a range of negative emotions. However, the feelings of guilt and shame which follow an episode of emotional overeating usually leave the person feeling worse rather than better. As overeating can cause weight gain, over time emotional overeating can lead to further difficulties such as greater dissatisfaction with body image and diminished self-esteem. Now, does that sound like fun to you? Does that sound like the kind of thing that a free gym membership is going to solve, is going to help with? Maybe initially, not long term, I don't think. Just the struggle of going to the gym, and feeling that sort of like that's sort of like not confident in yourself or in your body is not, you know, it's a real battle. So eating disorders, you know, and I'm saying physical obesity is a result of, in the majority, a result of an eating disorder. You know, they're serious mental illnesses, and they aren't always noticeable by other people. And in a lot of cases, a person can be of normal weight. And no matter what the eating disorder the person has, whether it's anorexia, whether it's bulimia, or emotional overeating, whether they're underweight, whether they're overweight, normal weight, the head is still the same. The mindset is still the same. And they are still tortured by food, constantly thinking about food. I mean, obesity tends to be linked to low-income families in more deprived areas, but eating disorders can affect any age, any gender, race, religion, or social class. Literally anyone. And I lectured in a few private schools several years ago, and was told that one of the biggest issues they faced was eating disorders. So we need to address the root cause of the real reasons why we use food, the traumatic stuff that has gone on for us that we are still struggling with, the negative beliefs in our heads that we have about ourselves, those feelings of feeling unworthy, undeserving, inferior, unloved, not good enough. Those are the things that need to be worked on, because the rest is symptoms. And yes, they are huge, but they are symptoms. The only way to permanently get rid of those is to address the root cause. It's just like antidepressants being described. You know, there's a reason why we're depressed, and medication might help us feel better temporarily, but it doesn't help with the root issues. It's seen as a quick fix, but some people can stay on medication for years. That's definitely not a quick fix, and it fixes nothing. So all this money being spent on labelling, gym memberships and education, it might help for a short time, you know, but if that root stuff is still there, we're going to go back to the same behaviours, the same patterns. And I just wish the government, the NHS would wake up and invest the money into mental health, because in my opinion, my humble opinion, it's the best way forward to make a real difference. Because let's face it, in a society where everybody is so weight and body focused, being classed as obese is not going to help us feel more positive, now is it? Now, I struggled with anorexia and bulimia, as you know, for many years, and found getting help extremely difficult. I saw my GP once and was so disheartened by the way I was treated that I gave up and tried to cope alone. Didn't work. I continued to restrict and lost even more weight. So eventually I decided to go and see my GP again, and was told, "You fought it once, you can do it again." Really? How do you know this? What? Because I was eating? Because I'd put on some weight? And please note, because I said I went to my GP, and I say it in quite a calm voice, what I really mean is I was absolutely terrified, and I shook and I stuttered, and I literally had to force myself to sit down and talk to him. I wanted to run. And it's really scary seeking help, and I couldn't believe that I was being treated like that, that I was being turned away. I felt so alone, and I thought that I had to become thinner in order to be taken seriously. As you know, I'm so pleased now to say that I'm recovered, but believe me, it was a long road, which wasn't helped by the attitude of some professionals. Eating disorders are are really, really complex, and are not just about food, eating or weight. I just wish others could see this. And I've just read today, actually, apparently there was an article in the Independent about Jeremy Corbyn has, he's actually, oh gosh, it's gone. But basically he's, I don't know, broken a promise or to kind of increase mental health funding. He's broke a pledge to increase mental health funding. So basically what's been said that it's been suggested that the growing pressure on NHS budgets means access to important mental health services could be restricted. Great. So again, as far as I'm concerned, and I'm, you know, who am I to question, you know, what the government spends its money on and how they kind of decide what to do. And I wouldn't want that job. It's not, you know, it's not an easy job deciding, and they have to prioritise, and I get that. But for me, it just seems like they're spending the money totally the wrong area. And, you know, if any of you politicians out there, or Jeremy Corbyn or whoever, want to sit down and have a talk to me about it, quite happy to have that conversation. Because if it makes a difference, yeah, I'll do it. So if you feel that this resonates with you, then please, you know, I guess it's just that judgmental thing about obesity as well, you know, and people are so quick to judge somebody that's overweight and that as being a lazy arse, or, you know, sits on the sofa all day and da-di-da-di-da. It's, you know, it's not all about that, okay? And just please don't judge. It's, you don't know what that person is been dealing with, okay? So please, you know, share this if you feel that it resonates with you. Thank you for your listening. I know I've gone on for ages, but thank you for your time if you've actually got to the end of this video, and please share if you feel it resonates with you. Thank you very much. Speak to you soon. Bye.